If you're here for horsepower, aerodynamics, and a roll call of tech that makes a track day feel like a grand day at the racetrack, you're in the right place. Today we're talking about a car that, for many of us, sits at the intersection of raw American muscle and high-tech performance, the 2026 Ford Mustang Dark Horse. Now, before we hit the road, a quick note. As of my last update, Ford hadn't publicly released every detail for a 2026 Dark Horse, and a lot of what I'm going to talk about blends what we already know from recent Mustang iterations with educated guesses about Ford's likely direction for a track-focused, modern Dark Horse. Consider this your informed preview, not a confirmed spec sheet. If Ford drops new official numbers later, you'll want to check the latest press release. With that out of the way, let's dive in and imagine what the 2026 Dark Horse could be doing in your driveway, or more importantly, on your favorite road course. The video opens with a cinematic cut of a dark, rain-slicking highway at dusk. The street lamps glaze the front bumper with a halo of light as the camera glides past the iconic pony emblem, now wearing more aggressive, angular lines than the last generation. A faint bass line hums in your headphones, matching the tempo of the car's imagined heartbeat. Then a voice breaks in, calm, confident, and excited. Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you've ever wondered what happens when Ford takes the DNA of an American icon and threads it through the lens of modern performance engineering, you're about to get a front-row seat. Today we're looking at the 2026 Ford Mustang Dark Horse. What it could be. What it should be if you love track days and daily driving in roughly equal measure, and where it sits in the crowded landscape of modern performance coupes. We'll start with design, because the way a car looks often tells you a lot about how it behaves. The Dark Horse badge carries a heavy weight in the Mustang lineup, a badge that instantly signals a focus on speed, precision, and track-oriented engineering. Expect a broader, more muscular stance versus the standard Mustang GT. Think sharper sculpting on the fenders, a more aggressive front fascia, and a rear end that sneers at wind resistance while hugging the air as efficiently as possible. The grille opening is likely larger, but the bodywork around it would be more sculpted, not just for heat management but for aerodynamics. Side skirts might be more pronounced, helping the car tuck its belly under the chassis while giving you that low-slung, ready-to-pounce silhouette at a standstill. Colors and details matter, too. The Dark Horse has always leaned into darker hues and high-contrast accents. Think satin black, deep metallics, or even carbon fiber elements that aren't just cosmetic but functional. If Ford pushes into a carbon fiber hood panel option or a carbon belt line, that won't surprise anyone who loves seeing weight saved where it matters most. In the driver's seat, in the suspension, and in the drivetrain's ability to rev and respond without fighting the air resistance. Moving from exterior to the way the car sits on the road, you'll find a track-tuned suspension setup. Ford's latest performance trims have been offering adaptive dampers, magnetic rides that adjust on the fly to road surface and driving mode. In the Dark Horse, I'd expect a more aggressive baseline calibration, with a wider anti-roll bar, stiffer bushings, and a chassis that's not afraid to transfer weight quickly under hard braking and aggressive cornering. You'll want the option for a more aggressive aero kit, possibly with a front splitter, a larger rear diffuser, and a substantial rear spoiler that can adjust at speed to optimize downforce. The difference between a good car and a great track car is often the ability to push a little more air through the package, and the Dark Horse could be set up to deliver just that. Inside, the cockpit is where the Dark Horse becomes more than a raw speed machine. Expect seats that grab you with stout side bolsters, a higher seating position than a pure sports car but with the feeling of being locked into the car, not perched on top of it. Materials will likely be premium and purposeful. Alcantara or suede in the center sections of the seats, leather or performance-grade fabric on the bolsters, with red or contrasting stitching that pays homage to Ford's performance heritage. The steering wheel will probably be a compact, thick rim unit with a flat bottom, designed for confident hand placement on a curve-heavy road. You'll see a digital instrument cluster that can be configured for a track-focused display, showing G-forces, lap times, and oil will temperature at a glance, while the infotainment system remains user-friendly for daily driving, with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a suite of track apps that let you solo your data logging on a closed course. Now, let's talk about power and propulsion, because the Dark Horse is meant to scream down a straightaway and present you with the kind of grunt you feel in your chest, not just hear in your ears. The 2024 Dark Horse carried a high-performance 5.0-liter V8 that Ford dialed in for more than 450 horsepower in its standard tune, with special variants pushing toward 500 horsepower or a touch beyond. For 2026, you can reasonably expect Ford to push the envelope a bit further without abandoning the V8's core character. A refined 5.0 might push horsepower into the mid to upper 500s, with better torque delivery across the rev range thanks to improved intake systems and exhaust tuning, as well as cooling upgrades to keep the engine breathing hard on longer sessions at speed. If Ford chooses to lean into hybrid tech as a means to improve both performance and efficiency, you might see a mild hybrid setup that provides a torque boost at launch and a smoother, more linear rush through the mid-range, all while preserving the natural, visceral V8 soundtrack that enthusiasts crave. A common question with performance Mustangs is about transmissions. The Dark Horse lineage has leaned toward a driver-centric experience, with a manual gearbox often at the heart of the story for purists, alongside a contemporary automatic option for those who want lap times rather than leg day. In 2026, I'd expect Ford to offer either a refined manual gearbox with a short, precise throw and robust clutch feel, or a sophisticated automatic with paddle shifters that behaves like an automatic and a manual when you want it. The key with the automatic would be a modern, multi-plate torque converter or the equivalent of a slick 10-speed pressurized system that delivers quick, seamless shifts under pressure. For track days, a well-calibrated automatic with launch control and adaptive shift logic can outpace a manual in many scenarios, but the manual remains a badge to be proud of feature that keeps purists engaged. Either way, the drivetrain would be tuned to feel immediate, linear, and controllable at the limit. Brake performance will be a major talking point for this car. A track-focused package typically pairs large, ventilated discs with high-performance calipers, likely a Brembo or equivalent branding with a multi-piston front caliper arrangement. Expect strong bite and excellent fade resistance on long sessions under heavy braking. The brake pedal feel should be progressive, with good feedback and an unvarnished sense of how much grip you're really getting as you approach the apex. In other words, stopping power that matches the car's acceleration and cornering limits so you can push to the edge with confidence rather than guessing what's happening at the tire contact patch. Now, the heart of a car's modern appeal often lies in its electronics. The Mustang Dark Horse is expected to ship with an upgraded driver assist suite and a digital cockpit that's not merely a gadget but a performance tool. Expect a customizable drive mode selector that includes settings like normal, sport, and track, each altering throttle response, traction control thresholds, steering assist, and suspension tuning. A separate, dedicated track mode could dial in the engine maps for optimal power delivery, a steering ratio adjusted for quick transitions, and a stability control profile that lets you slide before it intervenes, all while giving you a clear readout of what the car is doing under you. The infotainment system will likely feature a responsive, high-resolution screen with built-in performance apps, data logging, and a simple way to transfer data to your phone or a laptop so you can study your laps afterward. On the topic of dynamics, let's talk weight and chassis rigidity. A Dark Horse in 2026 would ideally be lighter than its predecessor while maintaining structural integrity and crash safety. Ford could use lightweight materials like aluminum for the body panels and strategic carbon fiber for certain aero components or interior trim to reduce mass, especially in the nose and underbody panels where every kilogram matters for acceleration and brake torque. A stiffer chassis translates directly into sharper handling and more precise steering on fast corners. If Ford can bundle a higher performance suspension, lighter wheels, and carefully tuned tires into a package that doesn't adversely affect daily usability, the Dark Horse becomes genuinely compelling as a do-it-all performance car. Speaking of tires, the rubber choice is crucial in a vehicle like this. A modern Dark Horse would come standard with high-performance tires that balance grip and daily usability, with an optional track-focused rubber that offers maximum grip at the cost of wear and ride harshness. Expect a wide, grippy contact patch with plenty of cornering confidence, whether you're carving a mountain road or chasing a time on a race circuit. The tire choice will complement the car's weight distribution and suspension tuning to deliver predictable behavior at the limit. If you're a track enthusiast, a dedicated tire upgrade could unlock even more performance and confidence. Now let's step into the practicalities and ownership experience. A 2026 Dark Horse like this would ideally balance performance with everyday usability. You'll want a comfortable cabin for daily commutes, with intuitive controls and a clear, easy-to-read instrument cluster. Consider the everyday noise levels. Are you still able to have a conversation on the highway, or does the soundtrack of the V8 dominate? If Ford has tuned the exhaust for a more civil daily drive, you'll get a car that's loud enough to feel alive but refined enough to be pleasant on longer trips. Storage space in a two-door performance coupe isn't vast, but a thoughtful interior layout and a usable trunk can make a big difference for weekend trips or track day gear. Pricing is always a topic of interest. The Dark Horse name sits at the higher end of the Mustang spectrum because it's meant to be a track-ready, performance-first variant, with a price that reflects the specialized hardware and engineering that goes into it. If you're evaluating the 2026 model, plan for a starting price that could be in the mid to upper $60,000 range, potentially rising toward or beyond $70,000 with the best equipment or the track-focused package. Options will likely include performance packages, aero kits, wheel and tire substitutions, upgraded brakes, and interior trim upgrades. Do keep in mind that price is always a moving target based on material costs, supply chain realities, and Ford's product calendar for the year. How does the Dark Horse stack up against its peers? In the muscle car space, it sits in a category with a deep bench of capable rivals and thrilling contemporaries. The Mustang Dark Horse has the advantage of a storied chassis layout, proven V8 sound and feel, and a tunable platform that can be coaxed into a very capable track car without needing a full race-prepped setup. Competitors from the broader field, be they in the form of high-performance Camaros, Challengers if still in production, or other American front-engine, rear-drive coupes, will offer their own strengths, including different engine configurations, weight distributions, and brand-specific handling philosophies. The Dark Horse's edge, if Ford leans into it, is a careful blend of a track-ready mindset with real-world usability, and a system of electronics and modes that let you tailor the experience from street to circuit without switching cars. If you're here for an owner's perspective, you'll want to know what daily life with a Dark Horse might feel like. First, it should be comfortable enough for a daily drive, with a cabin that's not too loud when you're in normal mode, and seats that keep you planted when you push harder. The steering should feel communicative, supporting a sense of connection without feeling overly numb in eco or comfort modes. The gearbox, especially if you opt for a manual, should offer a clean, short throw with a precise clutch engagement. If you choose the automatic, expect quick, decisive shifts that preserve momentum during spirited driving. And of course, there's the thrill factor. The way this car sounds when you lay into the throttle, the way its chassis communicates grip through the steering wheel at the apex, and the way the car remains composed as you push toward the limit. Let's wrap up with a quick gear list of what to watch for in the 2026 Dark Horse as the official specs start rolling out. Expect improved cooling strategies for the engine and the differential, more aggressive aero components, and a chassis tuned for better on-track stability without sacrificing daily slip-and-go usability. The interior will probably feature enhanced materials and a more tactile control environment for performance settings, a more robust data logging suite, and seamless smartphone integration. In short, the Dark Horse should feel more of a complete performance package than ever before. Faster, more capable on track, and more comfortable to live with on everyday roads. If you enjoyed this deep dive into what the 2026 Ford Mustang Dark Horse could be, consider subscribing for more future-focused car features, drive tests, and real-world impressions from track days and road trips alike. If you have questions or want to share what you'd want Ford to include in a future Dark Horse, drop a comment below. What color would you spec? Which performance package would you pick first? Do you think Ford should push the hybrid angle further or keep the pure V8 cadence? I'm keen to hear your thoughts. Before we go, a reminder. The specifics in this video are based on current trends in Ford's performance cars, plus educated speculation about what a 2026 Dark Horse might look like. For the most accurate, up-to-date information, keep an eye on Ford's official announcements and trusted automotive press coverage as we move closer to the model year release window. And if you're planning to purchase, factor in dealer availability, optional packages, and your local taxes and fees. The realities of the market can shift numbers quickly. As the camera pulls back, the Dark Horse sits in a dim garage, its sleek silhouette catching the last glints of a sunset that seems to slide off the car's aggressive lines. The sound of the engine quiets to a controlled, confident idle, a promise of what's to come when you twist that key and push the throttle on a winding road. The host's voice returns in a calm, inviting cadence. So there you have it. The best educated guess on the 2026 Ford Mustang Dark Horse, a car built for the speed freak who also wants to enjoy the drive. It's a blend of classic Mustang charisma and forward-looking performance engineering, designed to appeal to both enthusiasts and everyday drivers who crave a little more adrenaline in their daily routine. If you're into this kind of deep dive, give this video a like, share it with a friend who can't decide between a daily driver and a track toy, and hit subscribe for more updates as official details emerge. We'll be here to break down the specs as Ford releases them, test drive footage when we can get seat time, and, of course, a fair amount of honest opinion about how a car like the Dark Horse lives up to the legend. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep your hands on the wheel, your eyes on the road, and your heart racing for the next great American performance car. If you'd like, I can tailor this script further to fit a specific running time, add more engine sound description, include a host dialogue for a 2 or 3 voice format, or insert specific on-screen visuals and cutaway ideas to match your production style.